good evening, and a warm welcome to you. Welcome to Superscreen News at 6, broadcasting to you live from Lagos. I am Olamide Onwuka. Many thanks for joining us. President Muhammadu Buhari has departed Abuja for London, where he is scheduled to meet with his doctors. The presidential aircraft conveying the president and few of his aides took him off from the presidential wing of Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja. Minister of Federal Capital Territory Muhammad Bello, the Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris, and Chief of Staff to the President Malam Abba Kyari were among those at the airport to bid the President farewell. Others include the members of the President's media team, Femi Adesina, Malam Garba Shehu, as well as other presidential aides. Before leaving Abuja, the President received letters of credence from ambassadors of Netherlands, Republic of Botswana and Lebanon, where he stressed the need for sustained financial, technical and capacity building from the international community. President Muhammadu Buhari has appointed Festus Keyamo as AN and 6 others as members of the board of the Nigeria Deposit Insurance Corporation. Keyamo is to represent Delta State on the board. The Senate President Bukola Saraki read the letter from President Buhari at the plenary today, in which he sought legislative approval for the appointment. You will recall that the Minister of Transport, Rotimi Amechi, who is spearheading President Buhari's re-election campaign, had recently appointed Keyamo as spokesman for the Buhari re-election campaign organization for next year's election. Now, the President has confronted former President Goodluck Jonathan with instances of alleged corrupt practices during his administration. Senior Special Assistant to the Vice President on Media and Publicity, Laolu Akonde, gave the instances in a statement made available to journalists. Akonde said the statement is a direct reply to reports attributed to Jonathan's media office that the cases of corruption being mentioned are not true and that the government officials restating the instances are liars. He recalled that the Vice President said $3 billion was stolen in the NNPC Strategic Alliance contracts. The 3 persons involved are Jide Omokore, Kola Aluko, and the former Petroleum Resources Minister, Desiani Alison Masluike. Akonde also cited the alleged diversion and theft of sums in excess of $2.5 billion meant for the purchase of arms to prosecute the war against Boko Haram. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says Nigeria has recovered about 7.8 billion naira and $378 million and 27,800 pounds through the whistleblowers policy launched by President Muhammadu Buhari in December 2016. Osinbajo, who spoke at the opening of the Government Open Partnership held at the Nigerian Air Force Headquarters Abuja, said the presidential initiative on continuous audit, which oversees the whistleblowers policy in the Ministry of Finance, has helped the government to save over 200 billion naira by eliminating ghost workers.
What our experience with the OGP in Nigeria has proved is that it is possible to build a coalition of like-minded reformers drawn from government and non-state actors. In addition to joining the OGP and developing a National Action Plan in 2016, the federal government also established a Presidential Initiative on Continuous Audit, PICA, housed in the Federal Ministry of Finance, to clean up the federal payroll and pension system across all the ministries, departments and agencies. PICA's work in this regard has helped the federal government save more than 200 billion naira by eliminating ghost workers. Like the TSA, we're also aggressively expanding the rollout of the Government Integrated Payroll and Personal Information System, IPIS, to ensure that the loopholes that enable payroll fraud are permanently blocked. PICA also oversees the whistleblowing program, which we launched in December 2016. That program has seen recoveries of 7.8 billion naira, $378 million, and 27,800 pounds sterling as of March 2018.
Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami stressed the need for the federal government to partner the private sector in the aim of diversifying and improving the economy of the country.
Government and civil society groups, including businesses, can sit down together side by side in equal numbers to co-create transformational commitments contained in the National Action Plan, which is guiding document of the Open Government Partnership. I am pleased to inform you all that Nigeria's National Action Plan came about after a robust consultative process between civil society groups and government. It covers 4 thematic areas of fiscal transparency, anti-corruption, access to information, and citizens' engagement. Part of the progress is the fact that so far, 5 states have come on board OGP. These include Kaduna, Kano, Anambra, Ebonyi, and Niger. I'm also delighted to inform that Kaduna State has been nominated as one of the global subnational pilots.
You will recall that the whistleblower policy was inaugurated under the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. Now, the senator representing Ekiti South Senatorial District, Abiodun Olujimi, has stepped down for former Minister of State for Works, Dayo Adeyeye, in the race for the People's Democratic Party governorship candidate in the state. Olujimi said she sacrificed her ambition for peace, progress, and the stability of the party in the state. She urged her supporters to cast their votes for Adeyeye as the preferred candidate for the July 14th governorship elections in Ekiti State. The All Progressives Congress, APC, is set to disqualify aspirants found guilty of disrupting the Ekiti governorship primary elections. The National Publicity Secretary of the party, Bolaji Abdullahi, disclosed this while responding to reporters' questions at the APC National Secretariat in Abuja. He spoke after the party's National Working Committee received the report of the Governor Tanko Almakura-led Ekiti State Governorship Primary Committee. Abdullahi explained that the NWC would meet to take a final decision, which would be made public later today. The party spokesman, however, declined to give the names of the aspirants who stood the risk of disqualification. Now, the People's Democratic Party PDP members in Kaduna State House of Assembly, Labari Tella, has urged the constituents to avoid acts capable of breaching peace during the May 12 local government elections in the state. Tella, who gave the advice in an interview with journalists in Kaduna, specifically advised the youth to behave responsibly during the exercise. Report says the election for chairmanship and councillorship positions will be conducted on the 23rd local government areas of the state. Tella further urged the people to vote for credible candidates, irrespective of ethnic or religious affiliations, to promote democracy and development of the state. He said politicians should place the collective concerns of the people above personal interest for the common good of all. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has filed 12 charges against the immediate past governor of Plateau State, Senator Jonah Jang, for an alleged fraud of 6.3 billion naira. The EFCC, which filed the case before on a high court in Plateau State, accused Jang of perpetrating the fraud 2 months to the end of his tenure as governor in 2015. Jang, who currently represents Plateau North Senatorial District, allegedly embezzled some special funds released to the state by the Central Bank of Nigeria. In one of the counts, the former governor, amongst other things, is being accused of diverting 2 billion naira released by the CBN for disbursement to small and medium enterprises in the state under the Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Funds, just a month before the expiration of his tenure in April 2015. Jang is also said to have abused his office as the governor while collecting money to the tune of 4.3 billion naira from the state coffers through the cashiers of the Office of the Secretary to the State Government, Yusuf Pam. The federal government has been asked to sanction the leadership of the United Nations International Children's Fund, UNICEF, over their alleged suspicious plots to embolden and promote terrorism in the country. A group identified as Coalition for Peace in Nigeria made the call during a protest in Abuja, questioning UNICEF's leniency to allow some of its staff enlist in the club of undercover agents of foreign forces against Nigeria in disguised support for terrorism. Convener of the group alleged attempts by some international organizations who have rendered themselves to do some disgusting undercover jobs for foreign forces, which have sworn to destabilize and divide Nigeria.
We demand for the immediate withdrawal of that report on our military, as it contains nothing other than baseless lies, fabrications, and unfounded and insane adverts crafted to sabotage the ongoing war on terror in the country. The UNICEF and staff finger in this aberration have 21 days ultimatum. They have 21 days ultimatum to retract repulsive report. Any thought of disregarding this ultimatum by refusal to a corresponding rebuttal of this infamous report with the stipulated time frame, we shall have no option than to return to permanently occupy UNICEF office here in Abuja and in Nigeria until they are forced to vacate Nigeria. No Nigeria is ready to tolerate any attempt by individual groups or persons or organizations to prolong the pains and agony of innocent children and women in the hands of Boko Haram.
The report has, however, provoked outrage from Nigerians, especially the coalition of civil society organizations who have now demanded a retraction and an apology from UNICEF to the Nigerian military and the federal government. The National Agency for Food, Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has shut Peace Standard Pharmaceuticals Limited, Burage Pharmaceutical Limited, and Emzo Pharmaceuticals Limited that were implicated in the codeine syrup crisis. The Director General of the agency, Mojisola Adeyeye, in a statement said the decision is taken following findings from investigations and inspections at the affected companies. The statement said due to insufficient evidence gathered and apparent resistance to provide needed documents during their inspection on May 2, 2018 at the respective companies in Ilorin and Lagos, it has become necessary to shut down the product lines of the three pharmaceutical companies. The National Enforcement Coordinator of the Copyright Society of Nigeria, COSAN, in Edo and Delta State, Big Igwakalide Biodun, says the time has come for every intellectual property owner to enjoy their creative work like the Western world. Biodun lamented the lack of stringent laws guiding every creative act in Nigeria, describing it as a big problem that affects the intellectual world at large.
They have made a lot of names, but no money. The reason for that is that the intellectual property is not protected. Somebody like Michael Jackson, his estate is even making more money at his death than when he was alive. I keep comparing this jurisdiction and foreign jurisdiction.
He also assured on COSAN's commitment to ensure musicians make a good return upon investment.
If you're a musician and you have created or sung a song or produced a song, nobody can use that work without your permission. Whether it's in trademark, whether it's in patent. Yes, the first one, if you create a design for your product today, nobody will use that design.
Recall that COSAN as a body is yet to fully reconcile its leadership issues at the national front. And our Federal High Court in Lagos has dismissed the suit by suspected millionaire kidnapper Chukwuedumeme Onwamadike, also known as Evans, seeking the release of a seized 25 Mack trucks. Through his lawyer, Olukoya Ogungbeje, found Evans said the trucks were seized without a court order. Ogungbeje argued that the police forcefully confiscated the trucks from Evans on June 15 without any court order. In a ruling, Justice Rabiu Adiza held that the suit lacked merit and dismissed the case. The Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, Brigadier General Suleiman Kazore, has warned Corps members to cut down travelings and night parties during their service year. Kazore gave the warning while addressing Corps members at the Obubra Orientation Camp in Cross River State. The DG charged the Corps members to always respect the culture of their host communities with a view to foster good working relationships. The NYSC boss decried the dilapidated state of the camp, stressing that something drastic has to be done to revamp the environment. And you're watching Superscreen News at 6, broadcasting to you from Lagos. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll take the latest in the business world. Stay with us.
Before they come, they're supposed to, give us some information, notice, at least maybe a week or so. There was nothing like that.
Hunger is everywhere in Nigeria. People are dying every day, but Nigeria government are keeping quiet. Housemen are killing people. Why? It's not what we expected because of these old men that are leading us, and you people know, you are aware that these people are not the right people to lead us. These kind of people that are leading us here are people of black mind. They just care about themselves and their family. You are affecting my village. Let me use if I call it useless, I'm not a mistake. The other place where they build a shop, call it plaza. So each shop they are 4 million naira. So I don't have the money, so I have to leave. If you plan to get a tribal mark, it takes a lot of pain, but after some time, you enjoy it. No, we experience hold up now during the construction time. Then after some time, we start enjoying it. The way they are doing the construction is too slow. It's too slow. The construction is too slow. They should stop the construction and make sure people go into their businesses and do their businesses.
Welcome back to Superscreen News at 6, and now for some business stories. The federal government has signed a $45 million interim agreement with the General Electric for the concession of narrow gauge rail lines in the country. Minister of the Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, who disclosed this to journalists in Abuja, said the total money to be invested in the project is $2.7 billion after the agreement was concluded. According to him, the interim phase includes rehabilitation of the rail lines, management of the Transportation and Nigerian Railway Corporation, participation in commercial activities. He said the GE will bring 10 coaches and 100 wagons, adding that additional 10 locomotives and coaches will be repaired. Amechi, however, said by January 2019, GE intends to complete the whole interim process and move to the main phase. The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, and the Director General, Dakuku Peterside, says regional cooperation is key to the safety and security of inbound and outbound goods and services to Africa through the seas. According to a statement by the agency on Peterside, he said, on the sidelines of the Offshore Technology Conference in Houston, Texas, United States of America. The NIMASA DG, who was represented by the agency's Executive Director, Operations, Rotimi Fashakin, reportedly spoke at a technical workshop on prospects, challenges, and opportunities for regional collaboration during the OTC conference. The oil and gas industry needs the maritime sector, particularly shipping, which is international in nature, for it to thrive. Peterside assured the select international stakeholders of a renewed report to enhance security and safety in the Gulf region based on sustainable regional cooperations. Still talking business, the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, says the federal government will start supporting electricity distribution companies by the end of this year as part of efforts to achieve incremental power supply in the country. Fashola disclosed this in Lagos during the inauguration of the 133 kV transmission substation at Odogunyo in Ikorodu. Fashola said the transmission sector of the power value chain had been one of the beneficiaries of President Muhammadu Buhari's charge of project completion and inauguration. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll take some foreign stories plus some sports news. Stay with us.